Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Misadventures with
Kiki
and Cowboy, and we have another show for you. What else would we have for them other than a show? All we've ever had is a show.
Yes, that's true. I guess
We
maybe
are the-
what you're thinking is we have yet another misadventure.
Yes.
Versus some other kind of show.
Non-misadventure. Yes. Some other show that we don't create. We create these shows. So here's the lowdown. We did a trip recently. Imagine us going on a trip.
How about that?
Imagine
You'd
if
think after the number of misadventures we had, we would stop doing that.
No, we
would stop going on
Imagine
trips
if
entirely.
we go on another trip. And so this past weekend, or it could be 100 years ago, depending on when you're listening to this, we took our daughter, my bonus daughter, her daughter, to check
the youngest of all of them.
The youngest of all of them. We took to see a collegiate campus tour. It was a Saturday tour of a campus here in Texas, and Kiki's messing with her microphone over there.
I broke it.
She must adjust. That's one of her love languages is adjusting things. I must touch it with my fingers.
I do have to touch it.
But so we did that, and so Kiki was kind enough to get an Airbnb for us for the night before because we understood that it was an early morning the next day and wanted to make the most of it on a Saturday. So we left early on a Friday. I say early. We're in the Dallas area, so we left early enough to avoid some of the traffic. What is going on over there? Kiki is having mic stand problems. You had to touch it, didn't you? You just had to touch it. She's over there.
Sorry, everybody.
I'm muting Kiki while she fixes whatever's going on over there. She's muted now. So essentially, the how this started was, obviously, daughter has to go to college. Doesn't have to. Elects to. Kiki is still making adjustments over there. Okay, can I I'm unmuting.
Absolutely.
I think she has it somewhat resolved.
Sure.
And so the adventure begins. We pack the cars if we're staying there for 3 weeks. We have enough food for an army.
Well, so here was the thing. We were going overnight.
Overnight.
So overnight
means pack for 3 days.
Means one outfit change. Right?
At least.
Just one. I packed one outfit. Well, okay, no, I packed two outfits.
I was just going to give that some time.
Because I packed two outfits because I didn't know what I wanted to wear.
Okay.
I always have to have options,
yes.
So I have to have two.
And we knew the weather was a variable.
And some PJs, right? So great. And then I packed a pillow.
Yes.
And so I had to have a pillow.
You had 4 bags. You had 4 bags.
Yeah, I had to have a pillow.
4
so
bags for Kiki.
Its pillow has its own bag. Okay.
Then, yeah. I'm not lamenting.
My luggage has a bag.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like
the luggage has its own bag.
I didn't mean it that way. I meant like
now,
my clothing had.
I obviously have
bag.
to give you credit. You packed enough snacks and stuff like that, so there was never concern if we were going to have
bag number
food.
3 is all my toiletries. Bag number 4 is my travel bag that I put my laptop in because
in addition to the toiletries.
I had all the intentions in the world of working while we drove.
Between the hours of 4 p.m. on Friday and 6 p.m. on Saturday.
Yes. Yeah. So I was, and then I was going to, anyway. So that was 4 bags for me.
Yes.
Then you all had bags.
I had a bag.
And
we had a big thing of food. And
you had a bag
and a cowboy hat.
Your cowboy hat carrier.
No, I didn't bring the carrier.
Oh, you just had the cowboy hat. Okay, and then I had
2 cowboy hats.
2 bags of groceries.
Yes, which is actually great.
So that we could have dinner, breakfast, and lunch taken care of.
Yep, very smart.
Without having to spend exorbitant collegiate cafeteria prices.
We all know collegiate cafeterias, that's how they get you. It's not the tuition, it's not the lodging, it's the cafeterias.
I have turned into such a cheapskate. Yeah. It's really shocking that we're not skinnier than we are because I'm like, here, you get to have this one sandwich, make it last all day.
No, I think we had several sandwiches.
Yes, I actually packed quite a bit.
But
So I did.
But again, kudos, because is that even a word I use? Kudos. That used to be a snack itself, though, right? Remember kudos? Kudos were a snack.
Oh,
so is that the whole point behind the whole kudos thing? Is like
I don't think so.
Snacks to you? Is that the applause? Is that the corporate applause?
I have no idea.
When they say kudos to you? That's a celebratory word.
Kudos has always been known for congratulations. Why are we even talking about this?
Meaning.
Congratulations.
Praise and honor received for an achievement. I always thought it had something to do with that snack.
No.
Kudos to everyone who
do you think that a payday candy bar has something to do with
was the origin of payday?
The origin of salaries by companies?
All right, embarrass me no further, Kiki. You think $100,000 was a candy bar before
really
they ever counted money?
I decided to eat my $100,000, but I could trade it in.
You think a Mars bar existed before the planet? You think a Snickers snickered before you snickered? Okay, fine.
Anyway.
You think a push-up? Anyway.
Oh, my God.
I do love me a good push-up, though. It's ice cream in a tube. I mean, what's not to like?
It's not ice cream.
Oh, that's right. All right, so Kiki and I have this thing where if it says ice cream,
it's not real food.
It's not necessarily ice cream.
That stuff doesn't even melt. You could leave a push-up in your car in a hot summer Texas, it would turn be some kind of gelatinous goo.
Doesn't that sound delicious?
Yeah,
everybody?
It sounds delicious.
I gotta get out. Hey, Mom, I gotta get me some of that gelatinous goo, which is basically tuna out of that pouch. Basically, we talked about that. So yeah, we have this pouch tuna with crackers, and you mix it with sweet relish, which I don't because relish is disgusting, and then also mayonnaise, which turns it into fish paste.
Gross.
We're talking gelatinous goo. Anyway, so we had lots of snacks.
Okay, we had lots of snacks.
So
we went.
Kudos to Kiki for bringing
off we went on what was
gelatinous goo choices.
Supposed to be a fairly straightforward drive.
Yes.
To the location.
So this is an East Texas college, and it turns out it's not. There's no direct highway to get to it. As in, I'm talking interstates.
But there are two major ones that you would think that it would be fairly direct.
But it is either south or north of those.
Yes.
And what's interesting is these particular interstates, to get to those, are notoriously, it's late, people, and we just had a time change. If anybody knows, we're in the fall, and we fell back, and my tongue went with it. But I did reset the microwave, though. I did. The microwave and the stove are now, and the clock way up high in our kitchen that nobody can reach
is now all
back
in the same time zone.
Well, it's back on time now. It'd been off for 6 months. Through the summer, it was always wrong. But okay, where am I going with that? So these highways that are also numbers. There you go. Huh. But I'll do some trivia about state highways or actually. Interstates.
Looking forward to it.
Yes, I'll tell you that.
That sounds like
stay
an exciting,
tuned for the interesting
podcast.
But no, I think I'll do it in this podcast. So listen, stay tuned here because there's some really interesting. Long story short, these particular highways that we traveled are known for awful traffic. 635 in Dallas, which leads to 80 and I-20, awful traffic. And so what happened to us is we were driving down there. If anyone uses Waze, raise his hand and waves about Waze. You're looking at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. So Waze took us on the most backwoods.
Circuitous route.
Oh, whoa.
Yes.
Listen to that. That's multisyllabic if there ever was.
Oh, yeah.
Circuitous. Oh, that's right. We were talking about the nights. So one of the jokes on the way back.
No.
Circuitous.
No, don't get started.
Was he the knight that wandered around? What do you call a knight that wanders around? Circuitous. So okay. Anyway, so we took these crazy back roads that you would never take in 100 years.
We were driving through all sorts of neighborhoods.
We just saw some stuff, and horses and cows and really bad roads. just to get around what had to be a
point.
terrible on the that was the way back. But just to get around what was clearly a pretty bad accident on I-80, or not I-80, it was Highway 80, but it's not an interstate, it's just a state road. But
so glad you corrected yourself.
Yeah, because obviously I don't want to make a fool of us on this show. Certainly not of me. But long story short, it took us 3.5 hours to get there, which is more or less expected, except for the circuitous ways we had to take using Waze to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we finally got there, and we stayed at this wonderful Airbnb that was built in the 30s.
No, wait. We're not.
I did the 1, 2, skip a few.
No. We're not skipping over that stuff. So the misadventure is not contained only to the drive out to the college, but
no, there's more.
But it happened while we were there too. But I do want to review a couple of items.
Oh, okay. Let's do the review. Okay.
So as we are driving through all of these twists and turns and neighborhoods and all of this stuff,
and really bad roads,
it will come as no shock to anyone.
Zero. That
Cowboy has in his hand his phone playing Pokemon at the same time.
I was mostly driving. Yeah, 90. I'd say 90% of my brain was focused on our surroundings, the car, and safety. Yep.
And then the other 10% was focused on the Pokemon Go Plus. Yep. That was
literally it's
buzzing.
It's a button. I press the button when it buzzes.
No, but it's sitting in the cup holder.
That taking? Oh yeah, that's true.
It's sitting in the cup holder,
just buzzing like crazy,
and buzzing. And
that's right. I had it on auto. I didn't even have to press the button.
Yes,
it was just
you
buzzing.
had it on auto because it was.
And clearly that bothered no one.
Bothered none of us until you start something about it. I don't know at what point it started to bug you. And I remember.
After a while, I
realized
that it might be bothering y'all.
No. You realized it wasn't on for a particular amount of time.
So that's the problem when it stops buzzing.
Yes, you noticed, and so I was helping,
which was a problem. Yes,
and I started poking the buttons on your Pokemon Go Plus.
Yes.
Plus. Why there's 2 pluses, I don't know.
Because the previous one was just plus. This is plus.
Yes, that started off things really well.
Programmers created this.
And you also decided to give me, not necessarily a lecture. What's the word I wanted to say here? You forbade me from eating tuna in the car.
You just don't eat fish in the car, people. You do not eat fish in a confined space. You don't eat fish before an interview. As in, if you're going to go sit across the table from somebody.
Well, you can have a mint.
No, a mint has nothing.
You don't
on
have
fish.
to microwave it in their presence.
Because it's in your stomach. It projects out in air that makes it across the room. It does.
No, it does not.
It does. I've sat next to you when you've had fish. So everybody, our home office, Kiki works mostly from home. I work from home quite a bit.
My desk doesn't even face you.
And that's what my point exactly. She had some tuna out of this little pouch with these little crackers. And I said...
That's because I'm preparing the fish in the room with you. It's not because I have terrible breath.
No, but I'm just saying the fish is so pervasive. It fills the room. So yes, if it's on your breath, it's going to project, especially if we're facing each other, and especially if we're in a car. There is no filter in a car that's going to take the fish out. It isn't. So yes, I forbade. Yes, I stand by that. And just like you don't microwave fish, you don't eat fish in the car. You just don't.
Gotcha.
We all agree.
And so then
I'm going to put a poll in the comments.
At some point during the drive, I was
hungry,
trying to be sweet to my husband and hold his hand. And he would have none of it.
Why would I have none of that?
You were like, I know what you're trying to do. Stop touching me. What are you doing? You're bothering the driver.
I told you. I was already 90-10 split. You don't want to distract me any further. It's not a pie chart of a brain.
And so our kid in the back seat just puts on the headphones while we're squabbling in the front seat.
Stare off in the distance.
I think that had to have been within the first 30 minutes of the drive at least.
Pretty smart, yeah.
And then
for the next 3 hours.
Next several pieces of the drive was fairly quiet.
Yeah. Until fast forward, we got to the Airbnb.
Until we get to the Airbnb.
And it's this quaint little house on a kind of a highway.
It was
the highway leading into town.
I guess it was quaint. It was okay. I was a little concerned when we started kind of going down the road, and I was like, "Oh,
well, it's all kind of rural."
Yeah, I was not sure, rural. But it turned out to be
definitely an older neighborhood.
Fine.
You know, again, a house.
I don't think there was a neighborhood. It was just right on.
It was facing the highway, but there was a neighborhood back.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I looked at it up on Google Maps.
Oh, okay. So it was nice. It was.
Well, okay, hold on. There are houses nearby. That does not make a neighborhood.
Yes,
there was
that's
a
what I
street
meant.
nearby
that went. Yeah, okay. There was just all of that.
It was a collection of.
And
do we need to pause to inform?
Yeah, I'm like, what's happening over there?
There's some cooking going on.
Well, okay, the teenager has left the
teenagers
the premises.
Yeah,
so
the headphones on.
Yeah. Did not realize. I love headphones where like they have no idea how loud they're being, and then just slamming
things. Walk around the house with headphones on. It's like me.
You're like, it's so quiet.
It's like me with earplugs in the middle of the night. Sometimes I'll trip on something and have no idea how loud I'm being.
True.
Different podcast topic.
But so we're at this cute little house. It was cute all the same, and it was an older house, so like
low ceilings,
very low ceilings. In fact, you almost decapitated yourself.
There's a
several
ceiling fan
times
with low hanging lights.
Well, maybe give yourself a lobotomy. I don't know which.
I bumped it with my cowboy hat one time, and then I grabbed a chair from the corner and slid it right there, because I think at one point it was a dining room. Because that's where the light was. Yeah. And so I put a chair right in the middle underneath the fan and the light. Therefore, I especially would have to walk around it every time.
I could walk under it. I was fine.
You and she could, but I certainly could not. And even with the hat off, I was still going to hit it.
And multiple times you like...
multiple times I realized I was like, if that chair wasn't there, I would have walked right through it again, because it's surprisingly low. Yes. And the ceilings were only like not even 7 feet, maybe 6.5.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I mean I'm 5'10".
Yeah,
and I mean there was only I could literally I didn't have to extend my arm very hard to touch the ceiling.
Yeah,
it's like just
they were pretty low,
maybe 7,
and super creaky.
Yeah, the floors
were like
old wood
you could
floors.
Feel them moving and bowing a little bit. Like there was definitely
it was a little soft.
Yeah, more than a little.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's so soft that you're like, I dare not jump. If you jump and land, you might go through. Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you didn't say that to me while we were there, because I would have totally tried.
You would have, and
I would have been like, "You mean like this?"
Yeah, and it would have been ugly. But it was neat place. It was. They did have that little sprayer that went off every 35 seconds.
Oh, they had they were worried about it smelling musty or something like that. So they had one of those air fresheners.
And it went off. It was either every 35 minutes. I think it was 35 minutes. 35 seconds would have been too much. I'm pretty sure it said at 35. It said 35. That would have to be minutes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would just we would have aerosoled ourselves to death just with that alone.
I don't know. It might have gone off that quickly. I don't know.
Every 35 seconds. No, because I heard it a couple times while we were there, so that must have been every 35 minutes. But it had little settings. It said 5, 10, and 35.
Oh,
5, 15, and 35.
Okay.
So yeah, 5 seconds.
Every 5 seconds.
It's choking aerosol. The fruity fresh.
It was definitely intense.
It was intense.
It was intense. So,
needless
the
to
fragrance.
say, I dismantled it and turned it off.
Yes, and then you decided to remantle it.
And when I tested
the next morning,
it got me in the face.
And it got you right in the face twice.
Yeah, well, I joked that it almost got me in the face, only to start to set it down, and then it did get me in the face. And I smelled fresh all day long. Yeah,
I love that. That's so great.
Lysol on my nose.
That's so great.
And then, and there was a moment that I shared with Kiki and our college-bound. So in older houses, especially in heavily wooded areas, East Texas has lots of big trees. There is this type of bug that lives amongst these big trees. It's called a giant cockroach. And what's interesting is, having grown up in a house that was built in the 30s, some of my youth was spent in a house, and we had really big trees and a subfloor, not a foundation,
Right. This house was the same, where
it didn't
had
have
a floating
subfloor.
Yep.
Those, no matter how much insect repellent you use, those big cockroaches find a way in. And I was actually very nervous about that when we walked into that place. I was like, oh boy, this is a little bit of a flashback for Cowboy. I could, the creaking floors, the low ceilings, the very old house smell. There's a smell to houses.
Oh, is there?
Oh yeah. And I knew that smell, and my siblings, if they're listening, they'll know there's just a smell to a house that's been around that long.
Okay.
Maybe
it's all the dead people in it.
Yeah, that's it. Or people who have died in it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Well, they're not still there because we would
Okay,
smell
well, I mean.
I think I mentioned this to her, to our daughters. Like, I did smell out front a natural gas leak.
You did not.
I did. I could smell it. Yeah, it was.
Oh, now that would have been
but not inside the house. But it was out front. I could smell something was somewhere out there, and it was just a little bit, like the wind caught it. But I was like, "Yep, there's a natural gas leaks here somewhere." I did not light a match. So,
well, I'm glad.
Yeah, but it wasn't bad. But it was just enough.
Yeah, except that
there's a smell.
Except that the oven and stove were gas.
Yeah. So, but those weren't leaking.
Well, no, but I mean,
if I smelled it in the house, I would have.
You didn't say anything. I could have.
It was only out front.
That would have been the misadventure of all misadventures.
That definitely would have been. Hey,
explode the house.
Hey, Kiki,
oh my God!
Light this match on your teeth. But we did not do that. She doesn't do that. But anyway, so going back to the roaches thing. So the place was bug free, except 2 a.m. We had some lights that were just on. So Cowboy stumbles into the restroom, as a man my age typically goes to the restroom in the middle of the night. And I opened the commode bowl, and I'm about to start doing my thing. And underneath the underside of the bowl, a black thing moves. And I just stop. And I'm like, no. And I kind of tilt my head and kind of look, and it moves some more. And it was a cockroach about 1.5 inches long. And I know this from experience. Gasp. These are the kind that fly. They fly at you. There's nothing graceful when that happens. When a cockroach flies at you, it might as well be a spider with wings. So what did Cowboy do? And again,
I didn't have to deal with that.
Yes, because if you had sat down on top of that thing, God
help
you. So I closed the lid. I flushed. I waited. Open the lid.
I keep thinking it would have been so funny if you had just flushed and then without the lid closed.
Yeah, it would have flown out. But I closed the lid, flushed, then thorough inspection, and it had gone down. I made sure that it had gone down.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, and then
thank you for protecting us.
And then I looked about the room, underneath, over, around, did a quick inspection around the house. Of course, I made a lot of creaking noise. Just make sure it's dark. In some areas, are there more? I want to make sure there were not more. The house had been upgraded a little bit. They had done a pretty good job, so I was satisfied. But I did not tell the young one or Kiki until after we'd packed up and left the house.
True. So I probably have cockroaches in my luggage that I brought home with me, or something awful like that happened
they're among us now.
Happened at the Luxor.
Oh, go back to one of our early. There's an episode about Las Vegas.
Oh.
We went there, and Tortoise Troubles, I think, was part of the title of that one.
Might have been.
Because when Dot got out. Yeah. But, that was, and again, you remember we slept with the lights on there.
Oh, we did.
Cockroaches do not like light.
We did.
I was like, we're keeping these effing lights on.
Because there was enough, little bitty ones that we were like, where are those little bitty ones? There's got to be
coming in through the AC unit.
There's got to be mama ones.
And this is the Luxor, which is not luxurious anymore. Or there was a time it was, but they were having a rough time.
Yeah.
But check out that episode if you want to hear more about that type of. But okay, but then the rest of the day went quite well.
Did it? Okay,
yeah, we went and toured the university that was there, and. We just in time made the last morning tour.
We did. Well, now I'd like to point out that you did an excellent job of embarrassing our college-bound student.
I feel it's my duty.
Yes, by taking a photo of her as she is receiving the T-shirt for coming to tour the campus, and
with other people
making
behind
her stop with other people behind her, and she
and they're like, "Oh, sorry," and I said, "We'll Photoshop you out." And they're like, "Okay." That was fun.
That was fun.
It was a fine time. And, of course, someone complimented her on her top. Someone's like, they're like, oh, I like what you're wearing. And I said, thank you. As if they were talking to me.
Insert eye roll.
It's not you, sir.
Yes. And then I think the most embarrassing moment for her might have been when we befriended
other parents.
And
not just the fact that we befriended them, how we befriended them.
Yes.
We were sitting in the auditorium waiting for an orientation, and now she pointed it out, but the family in front of us, the daughter, the mother, and the father, were all three playing, you guessed it,
Pokemon.
So tap, tap, tap to the shoulder. Hey, y'all are like us.
Do you want to be friends?
Let's be friends. So we scanned each other's codes, sent gifts, and traded a couple critters.
Trading Pokemon and whatnot. And both girls were just like, oh.
Our parents.
And our kiddo taps the other one on the shoulder and says, well, I might as well introduce myself since
our friends are friends. I mean, our parents are friends.
Our parents are now friends.
So might as well be friends.
So nice to meet you.
So it kind of flips the switch though, because as our children grew up, we were almost obliged, if you will, to become friends with those kids' parents. Because our kids,
when they're little and they have play dates. I mean, you have to become friends with the other parents.
Because
right?
your kids' friends.
But now it's the other way around. Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I
wonder if that happens when you go into like nursing homes.
I imagine.
Like we'll go to a nursing home, and then like our kids will have to
become friends
with the kids of the other people
that they visit.
Yeah, because they're like, oh,
well, might as well.
Our parents. Do your parents do this too? Like in the middle of the night?
Yeah, pee the bed.
Do your parents like run out the door and like I keep losing them?
Leave their underwear on the floor and hang them on the door.
They never lock the door.
They never do it.
I can't wait.
Yeah, we got so much.
Well,
good.
that sounds like that's it. That was the whole adventure, the whole misadventure. I think that was it. Yeah. So nice to talk to everybody. Thanks so much. That was Kiki and Cowboy.
What is going on here? She sees that we're at 30 minutes.
No.
What are we missing?
Oh, I don't recall anything.
You don't want to hear all the night jokes?
No, not the night jokes for sure.
The other thing that happened.
What other thing?
The thing you're not telling us.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The reason you're trying to hang up now.
I don't have any recollection of anything. Clearly you don't. So I mean that's great.
So everybody wants to hear what she's talking about.
That's the best part of being married to somebody who's
teasing us.
Older than I am.
You're teasing us. I am half a year older than you. Barely.
Significantly older than I am.
Almost exactly 6 months.
Yes, almost exactly to the day.
So go ahead and tell them the other thing.
No, I don't have anything to tell them.
You don't have anything to tell them?
Yeah. Nothing? Sir Lancelot, I don't know. What?
So on the way home, on the way there, we finally left, and true to form, Highway 80 had an accident. We had to exit. We had to take some crazy, gnarly dirt roads just to evade the accident area. Thank goodness for Waze, though. We would have been stuck there.
We would have been stuck.
Waze did. Back in my day, we would have been stuck there.
Yeah, for a long time.
Yep.
That was standstill.
But then our young one there, she comes out of her shell. She tells a joke.
I think I started it, actually.
I'm going to give her credit, though.
I started it by telling...
How did you start
By telling stupid dad jokes.
What was it? What was the first joke?
Oh, my gosh. Now I'm trying to remember. Mm-hmm. I was watching Clip-Its
right.
on either Facebook or YouTube, and it was Will Ferrell and Marky Mark. Who is that? Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg telling dad jokes to each other.
Oh, that's right.
And I told a couple of the dad jokes.
Yes.
And then spontaneously...
she comes out of nowhere and says...
Yes.
Was it circuitous?
No, I don't remember. It was one of them.
But it's basically any word that...
I know what it was. Is something like, who was the knight who invented the round table? And it was
circumference.
Circumference.
And then I think we spent the next 25 minutes.
I think you all did.
Sorry. Yeah, okay. doing night jokes. Yeah.
And I spent the next 25 minutes wishing I had never
all the different sirs
started the jokes to begin with.
What was that? Who is the knight that's always there when something happens? Circumstance.
Oh God.
What is it? Y'all, there are so many. Just play at home because you will not run out of.
Put it on like 1.5, 2 times, and just speed right through this section.
What was the knight that always gets really frustrated and yells out loud? Sir, indipity now.
I don't think so.
Serendipity now.
I thought that was like what was it?
I don't remember what that part.
Wasn't it surly or something like
that?
Oh
yeah. That was the night that's always like in a bad mood.
Yes.
Surly. Yep.
Surly. Yes.
I think we had like 20 or 30.
Oh, you had. It was just constant.
We were just giggling fools.
Yes, the two of you were.
It was pretty terrific.
You two were cracking yourselves up.
We were cracking ourselves up, but we did. Oh, and one other misadventure was interesting. So they went into and they were sitting through. Kiki and our daughter were sitting through this one last thing, and and of course my phone died, which can't happen on a campus because that's where all the Pokemon happens. I had to run to the car to get a charging cord.
And there's no USB chargers anywhere on that campus.
Well, we weren't in the engineering building, I think. If we'd gone, yeah.
Well, seriously, how many other campuses have we been to? And there's chargers everywhere.
Seriously?
Oh, no. They had none.
Night.
I mean, what was
seriously?
So anyway, you walked out to the car to go get the charger.
And afterwards, there was a Starbucks right there on campus.
Yes.
And I was tempted to go ahead and get us both a Starbucks.
Yes.
And because it was 2:30 in the afternoon.
Yes.
Well, lo and behold, they walk out of that event, and I look over my shoulder, and it closed.
And it was closed.
It was closing while I'm charging my phone.
And of course, a long day and having to drive back home, and you're like,
so luckily we did find a Starbucks right there.
Well, because there's no other Starbucks anywhere.
They just don't have coffee anywhere
they're just,
at all.
No, they're so hard to find.
Yeah. So we found one 0.2 miles away.
Yes.
And then managed to get home safely after playing. And that I think the caffeine is what really got the knighthood jokes going.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, that.
Yes, yes.
And Cowboy.
Yes.
I was focused, but I was looking at some chickens while we were driving, and I almost ran us off the road. I was like, look at those chickens.
You did.
Because there was a sign, I couldn't quite tell if it said free eggs or not. I was trying to read it. And
why?
I literally...
We're not even looking for free eggs.
I don't know.
Why do you care if it says free eggs?
But I went about halfway into the lane next to us. And luckily recovered.
I luckily did not have a misadventure with
Except for you had gas station salad.
With the gas station salad.
We did stop at a gas station, and she took a gamble and bought a salad.
And I did. I bought a gas station
But Kiki's stomach is like the stomach of a goat. The goat of a stomach.
The goat of a stomach?
She's got a goat of a stomach. And I don't think you could eat just about anything.
I can pretty much eat almost anything. Yeah. I can. But yeah, I did not. I luckily did not have to regret that life choice.
Yes.
So
it wasn't so much of this.
So that was good.
Other people it'd be a misadventure, not for Kiki.
Yeah, that would be poor choices for somebody else. But I was fine. I had chicken and hard-boiled eggs and
lots of ranch
dressing. I mean, how could that?
Of fat. Yeah.
How could that go wrong?
Yeah.
How could that be?
Y'all ever had a 2,000 calorie salad? Kiki did.
My God, I totally did. I was so annoyed. I didn't even get to eat dinner that night because it was just one of those I was so irritated.
So much.
It was so irritated.
But we survived it. So from let's see, the crazy roads to the bugs and commodes to the
that was
the
it.
Knighthood jokes and the gas station salad.
Nothing else happened.
Nothing else happened.
No, not that I can remember.
We made it.
That was the sum total of the whole thing.
Had some weird dreams. It must have been the dead people. Anyway.
I'm totally waiting. I'm waiting because he gave me such a hard time about it, and he is completely blank, and I'm going to wrap myself out.
So, one final thought, everybody. So Kiki packs really well.
Now he remembers.
Packs a lot of stuff.
That's why I was trying to end the show early.
And so I asked her the question, as one does, because when you're packing stuff, you want to make sure you don't double pack someone else. So I just asked Kiki nonchalantly. He's like, "Darling, are you bringing toothpaste?" And she's like, "Of course I'm bringing toothpaste." Okay. As one does. And she says this long thing about the shaming thing.
Am I packing toothpaste? Now, that's not really the question he wanted to ask. The question he was really asking underneath that question was, can I use your toothpaste? That was really what he wanted to know.
Of course there's an underlying question.
He wanted to know that, not the question, which is what I heard.
The question I should have asked is, do I need to bring toothpaste? Because I'm assuming you're bringing yours.
Do I need to bring toothpaste? No. Instead, his question was, are you packing toothpaste?
And now, she gave this catty answer.
I did.
As one does, of course. I'm going to brush my teeth or
what else am I going to brush my teeth with? One generally uses toothpaste with one's toothbrush.
And then there's a moment, everybody. Wait for it. So we are getting ready for bed that evening. And I go, "My darling Kiki, can I borrow your toothpaste?" And she goes, "Ah." She's digging through her stuff. She forgot something.
Oh, shit.
She forgot her toothpaste, but here's the best part. Here's the part I really enjoy.
And I forgot my toothbrush.
She forgot her own toothbrush.
I forgot the whole thing.
And the best part is our hosts.
It's because you distracted me with that stupid question while I was packing.
I don't know. If only you kept a checklist.
If only. Yeah.
There's another inside joke for us. But luckily, our host, the people that we rented from, had an extra toothbrush.
They were a good Airbnb.
And extra toothpaste
and luckily the toothbrush was in a plastic sealed whatnot. So yes. I know that the cockroach wasn't on the toothbrush at some point.
There's one singular cockroach, but as they say, where there's one. So.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh, especially the flying ones.
Well, I think you said that you noticed that something was up with like the vent or something up to the attic.
That's where I suspected it came from.
Yeah.
Which just gives me the creeps.
He probably just dropped right down into the bowl.
Needless to say, it was right above the commode. So when I was using the commode, I'm looking up going,
"Oh, hopefully you didn't get one in your hair and just like
just or like any horror movie where like a dozen of them dump on you. Just go,
ow.
Yeah.
What movie was it? I think it was a comedy. Was it like Terry Garr or something where she's like in the? No, it wasn't.
Money Pit.
Money Pit.
Was that the Money Pit with her and Tom Hanks?
And she's taking a shower and it gets like in her hair, like there's a cockroach.
Sounds like Money Pit. Yeah, that's
can't do it.
Damn terrifying.
So awful.
The only thing worse would be a spider dropping down. Yep.
Yeah,
so sleep well, everybody. This has been another episode of Misadventures with
Kiki
and Cowboy, and I'm so glad you reminded me about the toothpaste thing. I
can't believe you forgot.
I had forgotten. Yep, so bravo.
Which goes to show, between the two of us,
how humble and amazing you are.
Which one of us keeps score? And which clearly does not.
Yeah. Well, we did the scoring game previously. So.
Yes, and I would say you probably don't.
We're due for another one next time. So thanks for joining us, everybody. It looks like we went.
Ta-ta.
Oh, yeah, we went a little long. You know what? That's okay.
Well, we're randomly spending time talking about circuitous, circumference, surly, and all the other surnites, whatever.
Oh, what's another one? There was
Nope. Bye, everybody.
Certainly.
Ka-chow!